Hey everybody, this is Zusi or Caswell, the lead programmer.
And Andrew or Dave Flair, the artist.
So we're finally going to get round to answering the Q&A questions. We bought ourselves a new fancy camera thing on a tripod and stuff, and it's all scary, and hopefully we charge the batteries long enough to get through this.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so we'll start off from the top, from the first question on the YouTubes, which was it a big leap of faith quitting your day job? Was it an easy decision? By some guy called Jari, something like that. Anyway, it's a scary decision.
Yeah, kind of. But once it was to the point where we knew we had enough money to live for a while ahead,
yeah,
it's not too bad.
Yeah,
but,
hopefully it won't. Hopefully it all goes well, and we don't end up on the street or something like that.
Pretty much.
The next one's quite a long-winded question, but it basically boils down to basically, I love race manager games, but there is no good one at the moment. Is there going to be the ability eventually to do race teams in automation? And that is one of the kind of expansion ideas, I guess.
Yeah, because it would be cool running like a factory race team or a factory rally team with the cars built by your company. Yeah. But
it would probably be production race car series only, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Although, you know, you could expand that concept as far as you want, really. Kind of the whole thing with automation in general.
Yeah, and then the prestige from winning races and stuff will then come back. So if you want to make like a supercar manufacturer, a la Ferrari or someone,
yeah,
you really want to do
you
want to go do some races and stuff. What's the next one? Are you ever going to show us the car selling part, or is it still in the making? So the game, the car company Tycoon part.
Game? People think we're making a game?
Yeah. The idea with that is we haven't really touched on that. We kind of did a basic PC prototype of that long ago,
way 2 years ago.
Basically, when Andrew was still doing the art of getting engines and other stuff done, I kind of worked on like a very basic prototype of how like the marketing system.
It wasn't even on the same game engine. It was that long
ago. That's kind of the concepts are kind of good. So what we're probably going to do first, the idea is we're going to prototype the game as a board game. So we'll print out a big world map of all the regions we're planning and draw up the rules as a board game, because the Tycoon part of it, in my mind, isn't too dissimilar from a board game. Because there's going to be...
Whilst there'll be a lot of complexities that you wouldn't have in a board game, the core gameplay, you should be able to simulate the core gameplay in a board game, and if it's fun in a board game.
So we do like a week as a turn or a month as a turn, and work out how many cars you're going to sell and something like that, and we'll probably make that available as PDFs to the forced induction people who've pre-ordered, so then you can download the board game, print it out and play it and give us feedback to the systems and stuff we've designed and see if they're actually any good.
But fundamentally we're doing the car and engine design bits are the bits that have to work a particular way technically, in terms of they're simulating a real technical thing. Yeah. And then we design how everything else feeds into it from how those work, kind of thing.
Yeah. So who else? That Mr. Super Baby. So Mr. Good Old Conan has asked, when will you get a new MX-5?
When
we get enough money.
Pre-order.
And you don't want an MX-5 anymore, no? You want a Breeze, Subaru Breeze.
You're an FT86.
I refuse to call it the BRZ. It's the Breeze.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Will the game get released before the end of this year? Not likely. They really would love to.
Car designer demo might.
Yes. Oh,
the car designer demo should be released before the end of the year. The whole game, I don't think so.
And third question, will we get Kilrob AG, Evadson Motors, Cossack Autos, Conan Coach? Maybe. Maybe we make some AI car company named after them or something like that. How buggy is the car designer now? And it works. I mean, everything in it works, but it's really, really rough around the edges.
Yeah.
So it needs, from my standpoint, like 2 to 3 months kind of polish, like bringing it up to the standard of the engine designer, and then it needs a million arts from that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that will probably get tweaked and redesigned and stuff. But a lot of the numbers it spits out are a bit odd right now. So it all basically functions, but only just.
And how much coffee do you guys drink? Well, I don't drink coffee because I don't like coffee. He drinks loads, though.
Like 4 coffees a day.
It's a good coffee shop down the road.
There is. It is good.
If you guys choose one superpower to live and die with, which would it be? For an added twist, I must choose for you, and you must choose for me. I know what your superpower is.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
What?
The power to name everything perfectly in files.
Yep. It's just cracked J.
I don't know. The ability to realize when things are easy, so that we don't spend a week deciding they're horribly hard, and then they take 5 minutes to
They
do.
do because they're SSB. And I was, your Model MX-5 just committed suicide.
I'm just gonna roll bar. That's it. Anyway, right.
We're at a V6 on a priority list. Somewhere after inline sixes, I think.
Sometime next year.
So, yeah, maybe something like that. Any plans of getting I2s into the game before its release? You can ask, you know who's asking this, Mr. Kabaz, because he wants to make his F126. But I thought they were opposing twins. Like boxer twins.
I don't remember, that's something.
Anyway. Will you be able to drive cars? No, never be able to drive cars. There's some questions later on that will go into a bit more detail on that. The rest are just boring FAQ questions. Yes, we did notice you asked a whole lot of FAQ questions. Actually, last one's quite good. What would you do without our honorary dev lead beta tester guy, Mr. Kilrob? Probably be in a lot worse state than we really are.
Yeah, not have anything documented is probably the major thing.
And probably the scenarios would be a lot worse than they are because he's the main one who kind of pushed through and balanced them while we were fixing bugs and things, and so we'd probably be a month or so, or a month or 2 or 3 later down the line than we really are.
Yep.
Does this mean that you guys are live dev or dev stream more often?
Yes.
Yes, hopefully. Once we're finally in here, this is our office.
Yeah.
Jake do like a quick pan of the fact there's like nothing in here apart from just Andrew's computer. But this will be the new office space. There's desks and things. When we finally moved in. Come back, Mr. Cameron. Okay,
and we'll probably be sort of working 10-hour days and dev streaming all day, hopefully. So yes, we'll be.
Would we be able to get an ETA on updates such as V8s and turbos? We're working on V8s right now, and turbos will be the next thing, but every time we put an ETA out, it kind of slides up. Things are looking good though on V8s.
Yeah, V8s are fairly easy, sort of in the scale of weeks, probably not months. That's about all I'd say.
Yeah. Turbos are the next thing. I was doing some stuff for them today actually.
But that's turbos is months, multiple months, because there's lots of stuff tied into that.
Does Rake love it? I don't know. I did meet Barney and Moog, but I didn't ask.
We should find out.
When we'll be answering the questions right now, will you be able to supercharge and turbocharge on the same engine?
Hopefully.
Chin-chugging, yeah, hopefully. We're talking.
It is cool, and we do like it, but we'll see.
This is a good one. How easily moddable will the game be? We keep on reeling in terror sometimes.
Yeah, basically, we're not going to make it. We're not going to try and stop you from modding it. We're going to make it as open as possible to modding, but it's kind of hellishly complicated to make things for. It's only because we've been doing it for ages that we understand how it all works. So yes, you can, but good luck.
Yeah. Were you planning on implementing a safety standard and achieving crash test, but achieved by crashing vehicles, by crash testing vehicles?
No. There will be a safety standard, but you won't be crash testing.
Yeah. And then whether there'll be some future pack that actually does it? Probably not. A lot of work for a very small feature to actually do that. Like, when you look at, say, the Burnout games, well, that's the main feature of them. Yes, they've all got the cool car definition when it crashes it, but that's the point.
Yeah.
You crash cars. Multiplayer. Will it be one person per company or several per company? So for those who don't know, I guess we are planning on making automation multiplayer. From extra work point of view, it shouldn't be too bad because it's a turn-based game, so it's not like the networking's like trying to make Battlefield work or something like that.
Yeah.
But if anyone's ever played the Anno games, you want something a bit like that, where you could have multiple people running one firm, so you could go, okay, you do North America and I'll do Europe, and you there in the corner can go to Australia or something. Pat.
Yes. Oh, but note when you say turn-based, you mean
Yeah, it's similar.
real
It's
time
turn-based.
turn-based.
Yeah, it'll be effectively doing turns in the background, like week by week, but you don't wait to complete a turn. It just plays the weeks for you. So if you're not quick enough, you accidentally spend 6 months designing an engine or something. Were you looking at doing the engine designer? So let me try to read your question properly. Were you looking at doing vehicle engine exchange type on a website where people can share their creations and also use someone else's engine in the vehicle? Like, one of my dreams is to actually make, say you're having like a single player game and you've got an AI car company, it downloads other people's cars.
Yeah,
it's a bit like the Spore creature creator.
Yeah, so you can upload your cars to a sort of a library and other people's AI games would use them.
That should be pretty hard, hopefully to make penis cars, but someone will make it.
Someone will manage. Hey, there are some real cars out there.
Yeah,
that's pretty valid.
What about free-wheel vehicles? No. Automation wasn't
no.
designed to think about free-wheel vehicles, it just won't do it.
The human race wasn't designed to think about free-wheel vehicles. Bad question, asker. No Reliant Robin for you.
Talked about those. Hey, we're through page 2, I think. Yay, page 3, okay.
Cats can count.
Yeah, that's good for a programmer. Okay, so on the topic of driving your cars, I've read that you won't be able to drive your cars. Yay, someone read it! In the initial release. But will you be able to export their models and rough physics data into other simulations? And that's something that I really want to do, is make a tool, like a tool and an SDK to allow you to pull all the data out of automation, all the mesh files, the chassis, the suspension and things like that, and rough settings, and then so people can then write exporters effectively to then bring them into RFactor and
all that sort of thing. Probably
whatever
various race sims, whatever.
So we're mainly thinking that if we are going to do one ourselves, it'll probably be to RFactor too, isn't it? Something like that. So we definitely want to do that, and if we are going to do it, we'll be looking at doing it with the release of the car designer at the same time as what I want, or very near.
Yeah, about that.
Because it just adds so much in. So, in the very far future, when Camshaft Software becomes $1 billion company,
we hope.
Yes, we definitely hope. Would you ever consider selling the company?
If we sold it, we'd probably just spend the money on starting another games company.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah.
What is your favourite car tycoon game related of all time?
I
don't really have. God, I played the others and.
Detroit was probably the.
Street Rod 2. I know it's not car tycoon related, but I really enjoyed Street Rod 2.
Close enough.
You don't have one?
I guess Detroit was probably the least worst. Yeah.
Is offline play ever going to be easier? Yes. There'll be something coming for that real soon.
Because we don't like it either.
Now. Will automation be wine friendly?
Maybe.
No, I would have to
try it and find out.
Yeah. That's what we're after. No one's told us whether anyone's got working under wine.
And we don't run wine or anything, so your job.
Yeah, we don't have a Mac or Linux things or stuff like that. What's with the cam profile numbers? And I guess you also extended that to fuel and ignition timings.
So basically the deal with the cam profile numbers is they're just sort of rather than relating to any particular real number, they're just like a generally how aggressive is it, from very tame, smooth idling to very wild race cam. And it changes a variety of parameters at once doing that, sort of lift and duration and all that.
Basically the number is there so you can kind of
remember that setting,
compare it to last time or whatever, and kind of after playing a bit you'll get a feel of like, oh, 30 cam's quite good if you just want a general cruiser.
And similar with like air fuel ratio, that's sort of a general average. And also it's the same with a lot of the sort of stats like smoothness and that kind of stuff. They're just a arbitrary rating so you can compare engines to each other.
Yeah. Any diesel and rotaries? I'm assuming that's not any diesel rotaries, because diesel rotaries are scary.
They do exist, but they're
scary.
Eventually, probably as expansion content, not sort of in the first instance of the game. But we do want to definitely add diesels and rotaries because people make them.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Rotaries are a strange thing that everyone loves and no one drives them.
Yes.
This is one for you, I guess, because you had an answer. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if said woodchuck could chuck wood and was fitted with a race intake?
I would say how many cubic feet per minute of wood a woodchuck can pass is related to the diameter of its orifices.
That's so good. Okay, I like to design the exterior or interiors of cars, but there is no interior designer because that terrifies us. But I'm not too familiar with how an engine works or how to design them. Would this game be okay for beginners?
Oh yes, there's lots and lots of tutorials going from very simple to fairly complex. So we've given it to people who don't know a great deal about engines, and by the end they do.
Yeah.
Very much aimed at that.
We're also thinking of having maybe crate motors in the final.
Yeah, so
well,
if you turn out not to enjoy making motors, you can just buy them and put them in your cars and have fun making cars.
That's already been asked. That's already been asked. What's the maximum number of cores supported so far? 3? Jay nods quietly. Say, will we be able to modify the V8 bank angle? No, it's freaking terrifying. I can't think of a way.
Stop having thoughts like that, people.
I can't think of a way that's
scary.
Possible. You can do it with like morph targeted.
Stop thinking, please.
You do it with morph targeted on the block. But then I got no idea how you'd then locate the head. You'd have to morph target that, then I'd have to write dynamic splines for all the intakes.
Next question.
The amount of work to do variable V-bank angle is hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of hours.
Skin everything.
No, you can't skin it. That'll be your end. No, be quiet. It's hard. And the final one, we're on the last page, with one question on it. Please, I want to make BMC A-series engines because you really want to make your mini engines.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be...
Or an APU for a Challenger tank.
It's your trivia panel.
I need an 81.3 stroke on an whatever. Yeah, we're gonna rework the strokes and bores. We're either gonna loosen or widen the tolerances. Like we realised, was it that medium blocks cut off just below 4-inch bores?
Yeah.
Which has irritated a lot of people.
There's all these V8s you can't make because they're all strange dimensions.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're either going to give you more leeway on either side, large and small, or ideally we're going to ditch the whole concept of block sizes and make everything like linearly scale up from small to large.
With then a limit on how overbore or over square or under square you can make it.
Like
so you can't make something like, I'm going to make my 10 litre engine by giving it 30 centimetre bore and like a 10 millimetre stroke or something.
Yeah. But ideally, yeah, the whole engine should linearly scale up from small to large. We think we have a way.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's it. I think, oh, question's done.
Yay.
Nope, don't cut it off. We'll be doing more videos now. We have a camera and stuff.
Yeah,
we're probably going to do all our or a lot of our weekly updates as these.
Yeah, remember those updates we promised we'd do every week? We might actually do those, maybe. This video.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yay,
Cool.
That's it.